Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's JRPG weekly update. Finger gun. Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's JRPG weekly update. I am SuperDerek, and guys, it's been a pretty crazy week. We've got a ton of upcoming announcements for physical releases that I can't wait to talk about. Persona 4 Golden has been killing it on PC, but before all that, today's episode is being supported by this ad by Square Enix and their latest entry in the Romancing SaGa series, Romancing SaGa Re-Universe. And if somehow you're not already familiar with Re-Universe, it's this widely popular Japanese mobile game that's now available globally on the App Store and Google Play. In this game, you gather heroes to do battle against hordes of enemies as you ascend a tower in a way that'll feel familiar to fans of retro-style RPGs. Romancing SaGa Re-Universe is what Square Enix is calling extremely free-to-play friendly, meaning you can play it completely casually and not spend a dime and still enjoy the heck out of the game, but there are in-app purchases for people who really fall in love with the game. The game features gorgeous pixel art and some amazing portraits by the legendary Tomomi Kobayashi and music by Kenji Ito. It's nostalgia packed for fans familiar with the Romancing SaGa titles, but it doesn't require any existing knowledge to dive right into the story. So whether you're already a fan of Romancing SaGa or a newcomer, it's a great way to get started. Also, Square Enix is celebrating their global launch by giving away tons of in-game rewards to help you get started, such as daily login bonuses, free daily summons, and daily and weekly mission rewards. Download the game by using the link in this video's description today, because now's the perfect time to start your journey through Re-Universe. And not only that, but by doing so, you'd also be helping support this show by keeping the lights on. So the first really awesome thing that I couldn't wait to talk to you guys about today is that Dotemu is actually bringing Ys Origin to Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, we don't exactly have a release date for it, but they did announce that it's coming to Nintendo Switch, and I actually have a little bit more news about that I'll talk about here in just a few moments. But before we get to that, Horizon Zero Dawn is also getting ported over to PC here on August 7th, bringing it away from just its origins on the PlayStation 4. It's coming to PC on both Steam and the Epic Games Store, so now you have options. And I hear it's a really fantastic game. I actually have heard that it's really, really great. I've never played it, but I've been told that people think I would like it. At some point, maybe I will, but if I do, it'll probably be on PS4, truth be told. Also, Spider Studio, makers of GreedFall, have announced their next-gen action RPG called Steelrising, and this is apparently taking place in an alternate version of like the French Revolution. I feel like there's a couple of games here very similar that have taken place during an alternate French Revolution. Anyways, so this is going to be coming to next-gen consoles here, as well as PC via Steam. And then we're going to get into some release date updates, starting with Amazon's MMO, that new world that they were making, the Amazon, you know, the place where you buy things. Apparently they're making an MMO. I remember talking about it very briefly before, and it's so strange to me that they're making a game. And not only that, but it's an MMO. But anyways, this game was originally going to be launching on August 25th of this year. However, it's been delayed until spring of 2021. The team is taking into consideration feedback from players of the alpha in order to, they say, improve the middle and end game experiences. So I think that sounds like a pretty good thing. Banner of the Maid Saga, that's the other one. That's the other one that takes place in the French Revolution. Banner of the Maid. We talked about it briefly before, saying that it was going to be coming to consoles, and it had launched in Steam on in February of this year. Well, now we know when that is. You can expect to see Banner of the Maid launching on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch on August 12th of this year, and it's going to cost about $17 if you're in the States, or €17 if you use the euro. I mean, I would probably opt for the $17 option if I had the choice. And the game will also eventually come to Xbox One, but that date has not yet been given, so it's going to be coming to PS4 and Nintendo Switch on the 12th of August. In other news, I did want to talk a little bit about Persona 4 Golden. We talked about how that was just kind of shadow dropped on Steam not too long ago. Like, I think it's only been about a month or so, but they're making headlines because they've already sold over 500,000 copies on the PC alone. And that's really no surprise, and well, it's no surprise to me. That might be a surprise to Atlas. You never see it come back. Persona 4 Golden, I'm guessing, never really sold all that well at launch because it was restricted by the number of people who owned PlayStation Vitas, which was severely hampered by Sony's promotion of that console here in the States. It's way bigger in Japan, but anyways, it's like a hair metal band. It's way bigger in Japan. Anyways, so now that they are selling 500,000 copies of this in a month, I mean, that just opens the floodgates for people who have just been waiting by the sidelines wanting to play this game. And I'm guessing a lot of you guys are probably responsible for some of these high numbers. So my question for Atlas is then, come on guys, you want to do this for Persona 3 now, right? Huh? And of course, seeing it come to other platforms as well as PC would also be really swell. You know, not to be a port beggar, but it'd be really awesome to see Persona 4 Golden come to PlayStation 4 maybe, or Xbox One, or Nintendo Switch, or, you know, more options the better for everybody as far as I'm concerned. Now, Limited Run Games have also announced some really awesome news lately here that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So we talked about how East Origin was announced for Nintendo Switch, right? Well, that's getting a physical release through Limited Run Games, and there's going to be two versions available. There's going to be the $29.99 standard version, and then there's the collector's edition, which is going to be almost $70. And then they've also got, sorry, that's expensive, but I mean, some of these releases are really awesome. It's hard sometimes to justify spending that much on a game, especially one that you can buy digitally on Steam for like $10 or less. Anyways, so that aside, $30 for a physical release, that seems pretty good to me. Mega Dimension Neptunia VII. Is it 7 or is it V? I'm pretty sure it's V. They're going to be taking orders for that on July 27th of this year. And then also Grandia HD Collection. Finally getting a physical release on Nintendo Switch on August 7th is when they're going to start taking orders for that one. Man, I'm just so excited about that one. I already have it digitally, but I will probably be picking up the physical release, if only to have one more piece of Grandia merchandise in my collection, you know. And then also, there's that indie RPG that's very much like Paper Mario called Bug Fables, the Everlasting Sapling. It's also on the horizon for a physical release, and then they also announced some other games like Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 and the Castlevania Anniversary collections. But those are going to be other games down in the future, but the immediate ones I've already covered, so pretty exciting stuff there. And it's not just Limited Run Games who's been announcing physical releases, because Xseed have also announced that Sakuna of Rice and Ruin will be getting a physical release upon launch. There's going to be two versions as well for this one, the standard edition for $39.99 and then the definitive edition for $59.99. So the standard edition's a little more expensive than Limited Run Games, but the definitive edition's a bit cheaper than Limited Run Games. I think both options are looking pretty cool. The game looks pretty awesome. Oh yeah, and the game's also going to be coming to PC if you care about that. And so far though, no release date has been confirmed aside from the 2020 launch window. Also last week we talked about The World Ends With You, that anime that they're making. It looks amazing so far. It's going to be getting new original tracks created from it, from the original composer. Super cool. We finally got a launch window for that anime, and it is a pretty gigantic window. It's sometime in 2021, but hey, it's something. It's something. I figured you guys seemed pretty excited for it. I'm excited for it. I'll be watching it sometime in 2021. And then that brings us to today's JRPG Weekly Forecast. So we've actually got a lot of stuff coming out this week that I'm pretty excited for, including Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. That's going to be coming to Nintendo Switch and PC on July 14th of this year. Then this other one, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. I believe it's just Void Terrarium. It's from NIS. It is a roguelike RPG, and that's going to be launching on July 14th of this year on PS4 and Nintendo Switch. Action roguelike RPG Pangeon. I'm pretty sure it's like Dungeon, but Pangeon. It's coming to Nintendo Switch on the 14th. Paper Mario: The Origami King is coming to the Switch exclusively on July 17th. And then Ghosts of Tsushima, it's not an RPG as far as I can tell, but it looks freaking amazing anyway, coming exclusively to PlayStation 4 on the 17th as well. So, gosh, given the two, I think I would lean toward Ghosts of Tsushima over Paper Mario, the Origami King, but I don't know. What do you guys think, given the choice? And that brings us to today's question of the week, which has to do with the games that we're seeing these physical announcements for. It's got me really excited. Are you guys a collector of video games? And if so, does whether or not a game gets a physical release affect your likelihood of buying the game? Personally speaking, it definitely affects whether or not I feel good about when I buy the game. The thing about buying physical games on consoles that's the only way I want to do it. Unless there's no other option. If there's no other choice, I will buy a digital download and I will not like it. I will not be happy about it. On Steam though, I feel less conflicted about buying Steam digital games because they're usually far more competitively priced in my experience, and also it's not like your computer or your Steam account is going to be deprecated and then they're going to release a new version of Steam and you'll have to re-download all your games later. Unfortunately, it seems like that's kind of what happens with a lot of consoles when you buy digital games through the consoles, is that, oh, well, you bought this game for PlayStation 3, however, now you gotta buy it again if you want to play it digitally on PlayStation 4. Oh, your PlayStation 3 is broken now, so you don't have your copy of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game anymore. Well, unfortunately, that's not for sale anymore, so you're kind of up a creek. So, when you're limited to a console, I feel like spending a lot for a lot less of a secure, enduring license to that game, I guess, is a much harder sell for me. But on PC, I mean, that's not gonna happen if you get a digital copy on Steam. Like, I have a copy of East Origin on Steam, and I'm never gonna have to re-buy East Origin again unless I wanted to buy it on PC or on Nintendo Switch or something. So that's why I'll go with the physical release. At least that way, I'll always have that as long as I have the physical game and console on which to play it. So anyways, I'm going to pass that question back to you. What do you guys think? Does that affect your likelihood of buying a game as to whether it gets a physical release or not? And how about on PC as well? I know not everybody here is a PC gamer because I cover a lot of console games almost exclusively, but I'd be curious to see how you guys feel about that as it relates to your Steam libraries. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining me. It has been a great time hanging out with you. As always, I am SuperDerek, and we do this every Monday where we recap all of the news that happened last week. I am SuperDerek, and this has all been news to me. Have a great week, everybody.